I pretended to be asleep for the last hour, and I grabbed another neck-wrenching peek at the clock before settling back down. 7 minutes has done nothing to relax my bladder. That's all I can dwell on. It's only 6:15, and already today's first step weighs heavily on my tired bones. Not to mention this morning's lumber. I can no longer justify postponing things any longer. There lies a little furmonger who would probably do well with an early excursion himself. Understand that I am not the only creature in this bed who begs relief. Besides, we don't need to test that hypothesis again. We've already proven that nothing sucks dog piddle out of a carpet faster than an unsuspecting foot inside a freshly laundered sock. ShamWow be damned. My toes barely hit the carpet when I hear Frankie shake as if he's competing in a lowrider hula hoop contest. Now obviously he's dry as bone, drowning only in the blankets and sheet behind me, but the reflex suggesting he'd just gotten out of the shower kicks in. My guess, that's his way of making sure I don't forget about him. What's that, your contest? Oh, happy day, we're awake. I'd be more than happy to show myself to the door, but my thumbs aren't opposable. I owl my head around behind me for a cursory once over and notice that all I can see is Sharon, the third soul occupying this bed, as the crown of her head feather out from her cocoon fortress like orange-colored salsa, poking out of a floral breathing burrito. She stirs a little, but stays asleep. Tell you what, I don't even bother to don my glasses off the nightstand. I definitely catch myself reaching for that phantom pack of cigarettes, though. I wonder how long that reflex will be a thing. Normally, 3 good clicks of a pick and a couple of drags would send me to the moon right about now. But I'm roughly 34 hours and 22 minutes, if I were keeping track, I suppose, into the first 72 hours of being nicotine-free. As I traipse out of my bedroom and into the lavatory to take a major piss, I already have it in my withdrawal-addled detoxing brain that this day starts with a couple of good strikes against it. At least urinating, much like climaxing, temporarily allows me to forget. I've had to go forever now, and it seems... it feels... I have to leave a hand on the sink counter for balance as Brown's lower resonating trumpet of fury treats me to a toe-curling, thunderous, and window-rattling call to action. Oh my god, awe-inspiring. Especially when, from behind the bedroom wall, I can hear Sharon tick her tongue and exhale loudly in disapproval. It isn't clear how conscious she is. She could either be shaming me in her sleep right now, or checking the social media feed on her phone. I'm in the bathroom, though. There are worse places to let one rip. The shiver tramples up my spine and boogies the back of my neck. You know what? At this very moment, this feels better than an orgasm. It's a pee-gasm. Curious, Frankie springs even more to life. I'll let you in on a few rough details about our little friend. It's really no secret this poor bastard is the incestuous product between a sire and one of his pups. The missus and I have long since conceded that the good Lord above, or whoever oversees these matters, blessed him with a few fewer brain cells. I can hear a single bass thumb knock against the floor as the dog lands and trots from the security of the bed to keep a floor's eye view of my exposed intergluteal cleft. The dog intrudes as he tromps through the wide open door to the bathroom, tapping his nails against the vinyl. Looking down at the sand-colored, mid-calf-sized Dachshund Maltese mix while still listening to the wrath of my prostate, I assure him, "Just give me a minute, pal." He gives me the look. "You've pulled the pin on a grenade, Thunderfoot. I'm not sure if you heard me earlier, but we really need to scope out some botany." I know, I answer. "Don't get your fuzzy britches in a knot. I'll take you out in a minute." I'm pissy. "Delay at your own peril. I'm liable to go right on your side of the bed," he threatens with his Einsteinian eyebrows perpetually upturned like he's worried about something, his ears worn like mutton chops. The mutt could pass as a college professor if he weren't relegated to walking on all fours. Delicately placing his left butt swirl on the floor, he uses his right hind leg to itch just below his respective ear. This motion causes his paw to percuss against the fake wood grain floor, in rhythm to a song I'd never heard of. I eventually rescue my pair of beer brand jammy bottoms out of the laundry basket to spare the rest of the world my nudity. I do the one-legged hop balancing act to get my other foot into its proper leg sleeve. Frankie decides that what I'm doing looks less like getting dressed and more like playing with him. With a wild whiskered grin, he snags the appropriate pant leg and tries to run off. "Hey," I manage sharply. He drops interest in the leg and begins to bounce up and down like an awkward kangaroo. Finally, I'm able to pull them up. 9 times out of 10, the flip-flops I practically live in when I'm not at work or out and about where walking is a factor are at large in the living room behind my desk. Blurry-eyed without my glasses, I make my way toward the kitchen and find them strewn about by the sliding glass door that leads to our postcard-sized third-floor balcony. I happen to glance up at a hummingbird hovering over the propane grill that monopolizes a good 2/3 of our deck. It looks confusingly between me through the glass and the red jersey knit shorts I have draped outside. Hey, the creature gestured towards me. "These should be in your apartment. Why are they out here in mine? It's too damn early in the morning for this bullshit without a smoke." I take nothing from this exchange and just turn about face and march toward the front door, all while telegraphing each step through the residence with a foam rubber thwack as my thongs harmlessly whip the bottoms of my feet. Frank DeWayne? Of course, he recognizes the sound, and after a moment of using his teeth to dig into his rear as if it were the featured item at Golden Buffet, he meets me at the front door with his tail wagging. He's so excited to be taking me out for this walk that he leaks all over the entryway and makes it excessively difficult for me to capture. At some point, he actually tells me to go on ahead without him, as if I'm the one amped to go outside in the first place, then opts to hop back into bed with Sharon now that the need was fulfilled. It takes more energy to do this stupid dance than it does to actually take him out. I should just call it an attempt and go back to bed. He totally gave me that out. But you're screwing with the wrong hombre today, my friend. We're going out on pure principle. I just flip-flop my ass after him. It's only when I corner him and physically pick him up to somewhat restrain him that I can finally clip the leash doohickey to his collar. It's like a regular rodeo with him. As I place him back on the floor, he zooms like a toy race car. He begins to pull against his collar in an effort to budge my size 12s from the floor. Perhaps he thinks he's a snow dog mushing to break the runners loose from the ice, but I barely budge. Using all 10 of his pounds against me, he tries to get me to move faster. I'm literally 30 times his size. The only thing he manages to do, besides jerk his leash, is strangle himself. By the time we make our way back to the front door, we're knee-deep into one of his asthma attacks. He starts to make that awkward strangulation noise like he's hanging. Note to self, next paycheck, we really do need to get him a chest harness. When I open the door anyway, he quickly forgets his perils and tries his damnedest to pull me down all 3 flights of stairs. As I walk him down, his belly rides low to the floor, the corners of each step narrowly missing his undercarriage, as he scurries towards terra firma like a fur-bearing, floppy-eared sausage-link rat with a hyperactive tail. We've descended 7 steps, give Barbara's doorknob the middle finger, turn around and take on 7 more, turn and finish with 9. If you're bad at math, that's 23 steps. Even in my half-asleep zombie-like state, I still count every stupid last riser. He usually reaches the dirt before I do, and by the time I finally catch up right beside him, half a second later, he's already set his course. With his nose precious few millimeters from the ground, he's ready to yank me on a little miniature safari. In all actuality, I do realize that this is Scruff's only media. He doesn't care about what's happening in the world or who's president. All this mutt cares about is who's stepped onto his property and reestablishing that all this is his. I still yank impatiently on his leash, wanting nothing more than to cave and smoke an entire carton before crawling back between those sheets. There's no difference really between what I'm doing here and having a huge shirtless giant come usher me away from a football game. Come on, just do whatever you're gonna do already. Fortunately, I'm self-absorbed and don't care about anything else but my pillow. My brain's eyes and face begin to protest over the absence of my glasses. It's almost worse than my jonesing. And of course, Frankie doesn't mind. He starts to behave like he's found Disneyland. I'm half pulling a tantrum myself. Would you just finish already? I left our only reason to be down here all over the entryway. What are you expecting? He has to take me to the courtyard where he loves to stalk his main squeeze, the poodle bitch and F building. Only when he concedes that merely dog whistling at her from ground level effectively pisses every other dog in the complex off does he bail on this mission and recon the mailboxes. With his nose buried into the train the entire way, we decide to circle back around front. Only then is my overlord satisfied and will let me go back to bed. In that 3 to 5 minute span, this little pooch learned more than I would have watching CNN if we had cable. We ascend first 9 steps, turn around, then take 7 steps, flip off Barbara again, turn back and take the last 7. Even if you're good at math, it still comes out to 23 stairs. I open the door, release him, and bury my face into the pillow. As quickly as I woke up to do this little chore, I'm back on my left side, trading accusatory glances with my glasses that still sit discarded on the nightstand.